Congratulations, you found yourself a cave spider spawner, and now you're wondering how do you turn it into a farm? Well, I got the thing for you. Here for 1.17, 1.16, and probably beyond, spiders haven't changed much in a few updates, so don't worry about this thing going out of date. This has been a progress. With your help, honestly, this thing has become beautiful and functional. So let me tell you what you're going to be getting into today. And if it sounds interesting, be sure to stick around and I'll show you how to build it here in like 10 seconds. So anyhow, we got our spawning room. They fall down, they go into here. They funnel in really nicely over to here into a killing spot, and voila. And now you might be thinking to yourself, Fortis, I have more than one. Well, that's okay, because this is part one. I'm going to be showing you how to make these rooms, and then the next part two, which will be released simultaneously as this one, I will show you how to connect multiple rooms together so that they all pile up just like this into one spot for you. So if this is what you're into and this is what you wanted, well, stick around. Let's go. Let's step into this item list. You're gonna need 5 redstone lamps, 17 redstone, 1 lever, 17 iron bars or glass panes. They can be switched out for one or the other. It depends on what kind of resources you have. You're gonna need 3 signs, tons of building blocks. I'm using tinted glass and concrete and a bunch of expensive stuff. You can go ahead and use cobble. Don't get me wrong, cobble's great, I love it. This just allows you to see it, you know? 2 hoppers, 2 hopper mine carts, 1 sticky piston, 1 lever, and a temporary rail. I suggest you get 2 rails, 2 pistons, but technically you only need 1 of each. So, without further ado, let's get into some building, shall we? First things first is finding the thing. That's the hardest part, and you've already accomplished that. So, we're gonna go ahead and dig out a hole. I mean, you're gonna dig out a hole. I have a bunch of space. So, you're gonna dig out a hole that is 4 tall, and it's a 9 by 9. Now's a good time to mention this is the height that you want. So you want 1 block, you want your spawner, and then 2 below it. That's the 4 high that I mean. All right, now that you got your stuff all dug out, filled in, and you got this 4 tall room with your spawner that's 2 from the ceiling and a 9 by 9 space. Once you get all this done, you're pretty much in the golden, especially if you got them to stop spawning. You should be pretty good. But let's make sure that they're not going to spawn, and let's put in that lighting system I was talking about. And for that, you're going to need to clear some space on top of the spawner. You know, just two blocks is fine. That way you can just walk around. So you're going to come to the center first. So find where your spawner is. We're going to slap a lamp right on top of it, just like so. Then we're going to go 1, 2. Just like that. So there's 1 gap in between on a diagonal on all 4 corners. Then we're going to do the most simple thing there is, just connect it up with some redstone dust. You don't have to go on top of it. This will power it. We're going to go through, connect it up. I'm going to bring it to the front to here. You can run this to wherever you would like, preferably where you're standing. So like by the spiders down there, you would run it down somehow, however you feel like, and that way you have the lever next to you. That way you don't have to go hunt for it, you know? So, I'm gonna flip that on. Now it should be nice and bright so we can get our way back in. We can take out all the torches and all the lights, and we shouldn't have any spawns. And now that we truly don't have to worry about spawns in this main room, we can go ahead and dig out a 3 by 3 by 3 cube out from the center of our spawner here. So we can go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and make a cube out of it. Nice and simple. This will give us our little room that we're gonna wash all the spiders down into the center of this. Now this is where you get to choose where you're gonna push the spiders out of. This is you can choose to go wherever you want with them. So we have some options. I want them to go out, let's say, you know, I want all of my spiders to go out this direction. So I can either choose this corner or this corner. You can do either one. So I'm going to choose here. I want them to come out on the right. So I'm going to place my block right in a diagonal of that, because we're going to put a water source on here and it's going to funnel them all towards this exit. Technically with this block here, I could either funnel them out here or here. That's your choice, and you know, we can choose in a different location. If we wanted it in this corner, we could do it here or here. It'll funnel them out just the same. So that's why I say it's your discretion on where you want to go next. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that back in. And there you go. You got your little 6x6 hole, or sorry, 3x3 hole. 6x6. Goodness gracious, Fortis. Anyhow, moving on. Now we're gonna need our signs. We're gonna need our glass panes or iron bars. I personally like iron bars. I just like the way they look. All right, so this part is simple. Now, wherever you have your exit, you're gonna place 3 iron bars like so. So if my door was over there on that block there, we would go across like so. So since my entrance is here, we're gonna place our 3 iron bars going across, then 1 in each of the other corners, and we're gonna fill in the other 3 blocks here with signs. And now this top layer is ready for water, so we can go ahead, put 4 sources in here, 1 in each corner, just like so. And you'll notice if you did everything right, you'll have this one gap in the center where there's no water. This is where the spiders are gonna truly fall through. Now, one thing you will notice that they will collide here. If you had like 4 spawn at once, they will kind of bump into each other, but eventually they figure themselves out and they fall through. If anything, the next spawn will push them aside and they all kind of funnel out eventually. So they don't get stuck. It just takes some time if they get caught in the water streams in a weird way. Next up, we can go ahead and jump down. We need our block on that corner since we're coming on a diagonal. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw in our water source. Now we're gonna have to fight it a little bit. Now wherever we put our 3 bars, we're gonna place another layer of them, just like so. And 1 more here. And then we're gonna come out by 1 block, placing an iron bar just like so. Now, we can take them wherever we wanna go. And I will explain more into detail in part 2 of how to tunnel. But for now, I'm gonna give you this basic tunnel method that's gonna give us our kill chamber and a way to item sort out. I will not explain the item sorting and the kill chamber in part 2, so we'll address that now. So, the main thing that we have to be concerned of is that we can only push spiders in a water flow of 4. So we got, if you see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we move to our next water source. It's very important. If you go any more than 4, technically they can like stand on top of the water. Since they're only a half block tall, anything after a source of 4 is lower than a half block. So we have to be sure. So if I take this out by 4, I got to make sure that I put an iron bar right there, because we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to rise up. And the way we do that is 2 iron bars, kind of just like how we did here. This is the whole mechanism, and this is a lot of what part 2 is that we have iron bar there and iron bar there. And that way there's a full block technically in the center of the 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this all in with some glass. That way we make a 1 tall tunnel. That way only spiders can make it through. Add some water. So 1 more block. Let's add the water. Do not click on the iron bar. You will waterlog it and it's just a pain to fix. So go ahead and click on the glass or whatever block you're using on the side. Fill in the final block and there we go. So again, later on, we can go wherever we want, but we're gonna go up 1 more. That way we can make a little kill chamber box. You see that I got a source block of 2 right there. So what we're gonna do, take some more concrete, 1, 2 blocks, and place an iron bar right in front. With that, we're gonna place a water source here, but we do need to fill things in. We're gonna come up like so. We don't wanna fill in all the way, because if we did, we'd have no way to slash at our spiders. Now, we could be done with this. I could just cap it off, and technically it's functional. You could sit here, slash at them, but I like to sit here in AFK. I don't know about you, so I want to make sure that I can fit more spiders in here than just a few. So we're gonna go ahead and place our water source in like that. Make sure you have a water flow, otherwise they will drown. If you don't, if you just had a solid source block, if we push this back 1 block, they will drown. So we're gonna come up by 1, and just like so, cap it off. I'm gonna place a block there, block here, make sure it's all nice and contained. We're gonna come up with another iron bar, glass block like so, and that's honestly it. You could stop there if you wanted, but with this design, if you didn't put the piston and all that, block it off, make sure that, you know, they're not crawling everywhere. It'll make it very hard to hit them. So next up, we're gonna need all the stuff for our hopper system and our piston here. With blocks in hand, let's go ahead and take care of this next part. We need to decide, what do you want these 2 blocks to be? Because this is gonna be very hard to change later on. So choose something either neutral, or if you know what you're gonna design the room to look like, use the blocks you want now. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take out that water source, and these 2 blocks eventually I want to look like this. Now, if you've never seen someone put hopper minecarts in a block, I'm gonna teach you right now. So what I'm gonna do, I want my chest to be, let's say over here, because why not, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead, run some hoppers out the back of that, underneath these 2 blocks. We're gonna have to go ahead and break those. I'm gonna use some obsidian. You can use obsidian, any other immovable object, or you could just put 12 cobblestone going back that way. That way the pistons that we're gonna put can't push the stuff off. All right, so movable or 12 blocks, it's up to you. Now I'm gonna want, these are the 2 blocks that I'm gonna want, right? So whatever blocks you choose, right there. And then I also want these ones to be right next to it. It's not important to put those there, but it also makes it easier, again, later on down the road. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna box this in. We're gonna come up by 1 more. I'm gonna remove this iron bar just for my sake. Place 2 rails. I'm gonna go ahead, place both my hoppers, just like that. I'm gonna come back, destroy the rails, place back in this. You didn't see nothing. You didn't see me. You didn't see me mess up. It's okay. It's okay. And then we're gonna come through. I'm gonna come back by 1. Place our sticky pistons in. They can be either or, but since we're gonna be using a sticky piston up here, if you're really limited on resources, you can get away with using 1 piston for all of this. 1 to push it in, and then later on we can put it up here permanently. So keep that in mind as well. I'm gonna go ahead, place some blocks out the back. Piece of redstone dust, a lever. You can do 1 at a time if you want. I just find it easier to do both at the same time. So flick that switch, break these, break that. So there we go. Now we can just chuck items in there as we please, and it gets sucked into our chest, just like so. Wonderful, isn't it? I love it. Now we can go ahead, place this block back, just like so. And now I'm gonna go ahead, now that I got rid of it, of course, I'm gonna need another sticky piston. And that's gonna go up to, and then place the final one right there. That way it's facing down. I'm gonna place a solid block of any choice right there. Piece of redstone dust and a lever. You could also do it like this, that's up to you. You can also run this redstone line to wherever you would prefer this lever to be. All it does is push that glass down. So when they all like bundle up into here, they'll crawl up. They love going up. So this will allow you to get a lot more in the space technically. And then you can go ahead, smash them down, and there you go. If you wanted, you could technically make sure that there's a full block of water right here, and then drown them a little bit, softening them up a little bit. You could put a timer on there if you please. I don't see the need, but if that's something you would like, there you go. That's how you would do it. And so I'll break that off. And the next part is probably the most important to your sanity. So we're gonna go through. I'm gonna break these. I'm gonna replace them with my deep slate. I love this new block. I am in love with it. So I'm gonna place some blocks just like so. We're gonna go ahead, iron bar, iron bar. Now we can't be hit. Yeah, it's magical like that. So let's go ahead, let's test it out, shall we? Let's get another bucket of water. I'm gonna fill that in, turn off the light, and we'll watch them swim through. All right, we got our first victim. Oof, fell in really quickly. Here we go. Look at that, swimming along, going through our tunnel. Up, and there we go. So they're in now. We can also, you can close this off if you'd like. You don't have to, but there you go. Now we wait for the next spawns. All right, we got one more victim. I just want to show you twice just so you can see that it works really nicely. And they won't get bunched up in here. My old design, they came out the center and they'd get stuck in each corner, but just switching it over a little bit helps so much. So I'm gonna switch over into survival. That way you can see that they don't hit you. All right, so when we're ready, we can go ahead, pull that lever, and then you can just butt up to here. I'm just gonna punch him a couple times. That way you can see that you won't get hit like this. You just won't. I killed, oh, probably 30-40 spiders like this, and we're golden. I've used this method a lot in the past, and I haven't got hit. If you jump, you will be hit though. But you can stand anywhere in this ring. This prevents you from ever getting hit. So you can stand anywhere you'd like, and honestly, you could just stand here, and every time you kill one, you gather the XP instantly. But like I said, if you jump, you're definitely gonna get hit. So you can put some slabs above your head if you are worried about that. But there you guys go. So there is part 1. Oh yeah, lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's turned out so good. So thank you to everybody for your input. I've helped several people out where they send me their seed and like what they're working on, and I've helped them, you know, make stuff, and that's really helped me design a better farm, so, and hopefully a better tutorial. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and then after this, go to part 2. I'll show you how to connect 2 of these together or more. I'm gonna do a quadruple cave spider farm for that one. They're rare, but honestly a triple is not out of reach, so I want to be able to make sure that you know the ins and outs of how to use the tunneling system, because there is no perfect way to do it. And it's not like a regular farm where, you know, this block goes here, this block goes here. Your situation is going to be different, so I have to teach you on how to manipulate these spiders. So go to part 2 and we'll get into this right away. So thank you again. If you haven't already, leave a like, leave a comment. Definitely leave that comment. I love hearing from you guys. And if you are enjoying this kind of stuff, please subscribe. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.